Interpersonal communication is the most fundamental aspect of developing human relationships. It helps define who we are and allows us to share meaning with one another. More than just words, communication is a complex system that has evolved over millennia. Language, words, and speech are often thought of as the primary conveyors of our intent, but studies have shown that nonverbal behaviors account for up to 93% of the total meaning of communication. These behaviors often vary from culture to culture and may include subtle distinctions that outsiders may overlook. This system of nonverbal messaging happens simultaneously along with speech and can be impacted by factors such as internal or external noise, race, gender, social views, sexual orientation, and socioeconomic class. Kinesics refers to the effect that our body has in relaying messages. Also referred to as body language, it includes posture, hand movement, and even facial expressions. A person who is slouching may convey the message that they are tired or bored. Someone who stands tall might give the appearance of self-confidence. Facial expressions have many subtleties and nuances and can express a wide array of emotions such as joy, sadness, fear, and anger. Haptics is a means of communicating through physical touch. Hugging, handshakes, or a pat on the back can relay messages of love, respect, or approval. Many researchers believe that babies who are held closely and more often tend to develop into more confident and secure adults. Touching is a very personal way of communicating and can vary greatly from culture to culture. What might be deemed appropriate in one part of the world might be highly offensive in another part. Gender also plays a big role in the rules regarding touching. Women often use touch as a way to express attraction and intimacy, while men may use it to assert power or control. Our appearance, intentionally or unintentionally, can relay a great deal of information about ourselves to others. Hairstyle, fashion, cleanliness, weight, and even height can convey messages to others who see us. In Western cultures, great emphasis is placed on physical appearance. Idealized men are supposed to be strong and muscular, and the ideal woman should be young and thin. These attributes may have entirely different meanings in other parts of the world. The halo effect, a term used by psychologists, is an interesting byproduct of physical appearance. When someone is viewed as very attractive, people tend to assign positive attributes to these people, whether they possess them or not. Oculesics, or eye contact, plays a large role in communicating our feelings to one another. Our eyes can express anger, sadness, concern, and love. When people are familial or intimate, eye contact is prolonged. Lovers look deeply into one another's eyes. Strangers generally receive less eye contact than our closest family and friends. In some cultures, eye contact may be seen as a sign of respect and attentiveness. In some traditional Asian societies, avoiding eye contact is a way of showing respect to others. The eyes are often referred to as the windows to the soul, and their importance in nonverbal communication cannot be overstated. Paralanguage is another important aspect of nonverbal communication that uses sound to relay meaning or intent. It refers to the vocal quality rather than the words we use when speaking. Aspects of paralanguage might be gasps, murmurs, or yawns, and also includes the pitch, volume, and inflection in our voices. The tone of our voice can relay anger, intimacy, compassion, and sarcasm. The words, "I hate you," spoken to an enemy in a certain tone, may have the exact opposite meaning when spoken to a friend or loved one in a different tone.
Even though these nonverbal cues play such a big role in communication, we may not be entirely conscious of the signals we are sending. When communicating, each person brings their own frame of reference based on their life experiences, their ethnicity, race, religion, and a host of other factors. How do we know we are relaying our intent accurately to one another? And how do we know we are interpreting the signals we are receiving accurately? We decided to do an experiment. We made a video recording of two people talking and asked some participants to evaluate it. Instead of showing the video, we transcribed the conversation. Instead of relying on facial expressions, hand gestures, or tone of voice, the participants only had the actual words available to them to evaluate the meaning of the conversation.
First question I'm going to ask you is, do you think the interviewer was polite?
Yes.
And do you think the interviewer appreciates the employee?
I think so.
And does the interviewer respect the employee?
Yes.
Do you think the interviewer or the boss is a good communicator?
Yeah.
Okay, do you think the interviewer is polite to the employee?
Yes, he gave lots of compliments and about her work and everything else.
Okay. Did you think that the interviewer was polite?
Yes, he was very polite
Okay.
and professional.
Okay.
Is the interviewer polite?
Yes.
All right. So, do you think that this interviewer is polite?
I would say he's polite, but he didn't really go out of his way to make the employee welcome.
And how would you feel if you were this employee?
I would feel good. I
Okay.
feel like the employer is concerned with what the employee thinks.
Okay. And do you think he's a good boss?
Yeah.
Think that the interviewer respects the employee?
Yes, he was very polite with all of his questions to the employee.
Okay. Does the interviewer appreciate the employee?
Yes, he does because he praised her on what a great job she's done.
Okay.
Do you think that he appreciates the employee?
No, I wouldn't say he appreciates the employee. Kind of, his responses were pretty standard and pretty vague.
Does the interviewer appreciate the employee?
Yes.
Why do you think that?
He thanks her several times. And lets her know you've done an absolutely great job here.
Do you think he was respectful towards the employee, though?
I think he was respectful, but to the point where it's just a standard response. It wasn't really tailored to the individual employee.
Okay. Does the interviewer respect the employee?
Yes, he respects her.
Okay. Thank you.
Does the interviewer respect the employee?
Yes.
Okay, and why do you think that?
He didn't cuss at her. He didn't badmouth her, and seemed to never cut her off when she was speaking.
Okay. Does the interviewer appreciate the employee?
Definitely. Again, he gave lots of compliments about her work performance.
And do you think he was an effective communicator?
Not really. He didn't really cite examples of specifically placed. He didn't really give examples of the merit for the employee.
Mm-hmm.
He just kind of gave generic answers and seemed more like he wanted to get it over with as opposed to be interested in communicating with the employee how effective they were at their position.
Is the interviewer an effective communicator?
Yes.
And why do you think that?
He invited her in politely. He let her know why she was there. He let her know she did well and asked questions.
Come on in.
Hi, I'm here for my review.
Oh, hey, Brenda. Thank you for coming in. Sorry it's such late notice. Just want to do a one-year eval with you. Just wanted to see how you liked working here.
I really like it. I like everyone here at the office, and everyone gets along great.
Yeah? Okay. Any positives or any negatives?
Everything seems to be going great, and I like working with everyone here, so I'm satisfied with my job right now.
Okay, no issues with any other personnel here?
Not at all.
Okay. Any negatives, did you say?
No.
Okay. Well, you've done an absolute great job here. I've heard nothing but positive things come from the other employees. Just very, very happy to have you here, and I just wanted to touch base with you and just make sure you enjoy working here just as much as I did.
Okay.
Well, thank you for coming in, and we'll have to meet up for lunch one of these days.
Okay.
All right. You have a good day.
You too.
Wait, watching the video, did you think that the interviewer was polite to the employee?
No, he was very rude. Didn't really make eye contact when he walked into the room. Had his feet up, looked at a magazine, kept answering text. Not professional, not the way to treat an employee. Even if the words he was saying were kind, it didn't really mean anything if you don't show the effort and the politeness.
Okay, Rochelle. So by looking at the video, I'm going to ask you a few questions. How would you feel if you were this employee?
I wouldn't feel as if I was important if I was this employee. I would feel neglected.
Okay, do you think that he's a good boss?
No, I don't think he's a good boss, because a good boss would have gotten up and shook the employee's hand and gave her eye contact and not been on his phone texting and reading a magazine, and his feet were up on the desk.
Okay, would you bring your phone to an interview?
No, I wouldn't, because that's tacky, and you're supposed to give eye contact and give that person the one-on-one attention instead of being involved with other things.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. Do you think this interviewer is polite?
Given the circumstances, I don't think that his body language was conveying much politeness, I guess.
Okay. And do you think the interviewer appreciates the employee?
Again, given like body language that the interviewer was giving, he didn't seem like he was putting much effort into, or much thought, or anything for that matter, into that interview.
After watching the video, do you think the interviewer was polite?
No,
And do you think the interviewer appreciates the employee?
not very much.
And do you think the interviewer respects the employee?
No,
Do you think he's a good communicator?
not really.
All right. Do you think this interviewer is polite?
No, I do not.
Why not?
Because he wouldn't make eye contact.
Okay. And so do you think he appreciates the employee?
Yeah, because he called her in. But that's, yeah.
That's about it.
Okay. Do you think the interviewer appreciated the employee?
No, because if you appreciate your employees, you show them the respect they deserve, making eye contact, appreciation, not just dismissing everything they've done by saying nice things and just looking the other way and acting nonchalant like it's no big deal.
So would you say he respects the employee then?
Well, I wouldn't think so, no. But then again, the employee did say that she enjoyed working with with her coworkers. So I mean, it kind of makes you think about what's not given in that video, which is like what their relationship is like.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it was like a normal thing for them to act that way.
Natural.
Right.
Okay. And do you think he's an effective communicator?
No. I don't know.
Why?
Again, just based on, even if they were, but I guess if you will, like just like the indirect eye contact, or just multitasking and not actually doing what you were supposed to be doing, which was giving an interview.
Yeah. How about, is he an effective communicator?
No, he doesn't make eye contact. He's distracted. Not even distracted. He would take phone calls.
Yeah.
Throw his feet up on the desk. Very unprofessional.
Okay. And how would you feel if you were this employee?
I wouldn't, I'd have been kind of like, oh my God, that's very, it was nice that he called me in, but it was he's so rude.
All right. Thank you.
And how would you feel if you were the employee?
I would feel very uncomfortable and a little concerned with my employer.
And based off that, do you think he's a good boss?
Probably not.
And do you think she's a good employee?
It seems like it.
Okay, and how would you feel if you were this employee?
If I was that employee, I just wouldn't. Personally, I don't think I would have cared much for that interview. I mean, I just wouldn't have taken it to heart, I guess.
Okay.
It would just been like, okay, something just happened, but nothing.
Wasn't bad or good?
Yeah, it's not a meaningful event that just happened. It's just something that happened just for the sake of the company
Policy.
doing something.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you.
When we began our project, our intent was to show the importance that nonverbal messaging has on communication. We wanted to show that words alone don't always convey the entire meaning in communicating. We were hoping to fool people by creating a situation where they could only see the words without any of the context of nonverbal communication. And we thought we'd get pretty much black and white responses. People that read the text only were supposed to, perceive it as a complimentary encounter, and those who actually got to watch the video were completely had a completely different experience, and hopefully the opposite result. I think for the most part, the responses we got were in line with what we thought would happen. It reinforced the idea that nonverbal communication is more believable than just words alone. But one of the surprises that we found was even though people saw either the same video or read the same text, there was still a great deal of variety in how people interpreted those things. Same people that saw the video, you could get two completely different responses. And even very specific language that people would read, they would draw different conclusions altogether. And we realized that there's a bias, worldview, personal bias that comes into it. That affects how we understand what we hear and what we tell people. In the end, though, I think we did realize that the nonverbal cues do help to eliminate some of the ambiguity of language alone. I hope that you guys enjoyed the presentation. Thanks.